I can safely say that I am excited for this NFL season. So, what's better to do than jinx almost every team in the league and get my predictions wrong? Nothing. So, this is what every NFL team's record will be in 2018. But, unlike the MLB video where I predicted theirs, this time I actually looked at the schedule and thought about the teams. So, no, this is not just me throwing around random numbers and hoping what will happen. So, this is scientific. I hope you enjoy. So, I'm just gonna jump right into this thing with the AFC East. I predict the Patriots winning the division with a 13-3 record because they're the Patriots and they're gonna do good. Then the Bills in second place with a 7-9 record because they're the Bills, then the Dolphins with a 7-9 record, and the Jets with a 4-12 record because it's the AFC East and nothing ever changes. Next, with the AFC South, I predict the Jaguars also have a 13-3 record because they have one of the best defenses in the NFL, and if their offense just gets more consistent, they'll be amazing. Then the Texans with an 11-5 record because I personally think Deshaun Watson will lead them to a really good season. The Titans with an 8-8 record, and the Colts with a 7-9 record because Andrew Luck is not as good as people think he is. Next, with the AFC West, I predict that the Chargers will have an 11-5 season, followed up with the Chiefs having a 9-7 season, the Raiders having an 8-8 season, and the Broncos having a 4-12 season because they aren't good. And to round off the AFC North, I am going to have the Steelers at 10-6 because Le'Veon Bell will probably not be active the whole season. The Ravens with 8-8. The Browns with 4-12. I know, a bold pick, but they have gotten better during the offseason. And the Bengals going 2-14 and just them suddenly becoming the worst players in the league. Because I don't trust the Bengals and I don't think they're going to do good. And then there is the NFC. To start, I'm going to do the NFC East. I predict the Cowboys will go 12-4 with Ezekiel Elliott coming back and being better than ever. The Eagles with 11-5 because Carson Wentz is still godly. The Redskins at 5-11 because Alex Smith is a worse version of Kirk Cousins. And the Giants going 4-12 because who knows why they were messing up. Next, we have the complete mess of a division, the NFC South. I predict the Saints winning it with an 11-5 record because Drew Brees is close to the GOAT. Not quite Blake Bortles, but close. Followed up with the Panthers, who are also at 11-5 record because Cam Newton is good in even years. Falcons with 9-7, and the Bucks going 3-13 because they are bad. Next, we have the NFC West. I'm predicting the Rams winning the division with a 13-3 record because they have a great defense with Donald and that one guy whose name I can't say because it's too complicated. Next, with the 49ers going 10-6 because Jimmy G's going to do good. And then the Seahawks going 5-11 because in your face, Seattle, you're going to do bad. Followed by the Cardinals going 3-13 because the Cardinals are going to be bad. In your face, Jacob. And to round it all off, we have the NFC North. I predict that Aaron Rodgers will go 12-4. The Packers will go 12-4 and win the division. Followed up by the Vikings going 11-5 in a close second. The Lions going 6-10 because Matthew Stafford is not as good as people think he is. And the Bears going 4-12 because, unlike many of their fans believe, they actually aren't that good. But no prediction video is complete without the playoffs. So, before, now the Patriots are the number 1 seed, the Jaguars are the number 2 seed, the Chargers are the number 3 seed, the Steelers are the number 4 seed, the Texans are the number 5 seed, and the Chiefs are the number 6 seed for the AFC. Meanwhile, on the NFC side of things, I have the Rams as the number 1 seed, the Packers barely beating out the Cowboys for the number 2 seed, while the Cowboys are at the number 3 seed, and the Saints at the number 4 seed. Then I had a three-way tie for 2 spots for the wild card. I had the Eagles, the Panthers, and the Vikings. I think that the Eagles will be the number 5 seed and the Panthers will be the number 6 seed, solely because I don't think Kirk Cousins is as good as Minnesota needs him to be to make the playoffs. So I'd rather have the Eagles with Carson Wentz and the Panthers with Cam Newton than the Vikings with Kirk Cousins. On the AFC side of things for the wild card, we have the number 3 seed Chargers versus the number 6 seed Chiefs. Shocking everybody in the world, I think that the Chargers are going to win. Meanwhile, we have the number 4 seed Steelers versus the number 5 seed Texans, and I'm predicting an upset. I think that the Texans are going to beat the Steelers and move on to the next round. Then, for the NFC wildcard round, these are actually some great games. Like, these could be coin flip for who would win. But we have the number 3 seed Cowboys versus the number 6 seed Panthers. And I'm saying the Cowboys solely because of the seed. Just because it could be a coin flip, and the home field advantage could be the difference maker. Meanwhile, we have the number 4 seed Saints versus the number 5 seed Eagles. I think the Saints are going to win because their defense has improved and Drew Brees is still their offense. And they have Alvin Kamara, who is one of the best young running backs in the league. So I'm predicting Saints there. Next, we have the divisional round with the number 1 seed Patriots versus the number 5 seed Texans. And you're not going to believe this. Like, legitimately. I'm predicting the Texans beat the Patriots in Foxborough in Tom Brady's face. The upset of the century, and that might be the last time that that might be the end of the Patriots dynasty. And then we have the number 2 seed Jaguars versus the number 3 seed Chargers, and I think the Jaguars are going to win a nice and crisp game. Back to the NFC divisional round, and again, these could be coin flip games for who could win. But I'm thinking that the Rams would beat the Saints and the Packers would beat the Cowboys, and all would be right in the world. The final match, the number 2 seed Jaguars versus the number 5 seed Texans to go to the Super Bowl. Who do you think is going to win, Gus? Well, in my expert opinion, I think that the Jaguars defense will overcome Deshaun Watson and that the Jaguars will make it to the Super Bowl. That seemed like the perfect answer, Gus. It all makes sense. But then, for the NFC side, who will go to the Super Bowl? The number 1 seed Rams versus the number 2 seed Packers. Gus, the floor is yours. Well, as good as Aaron Rodgers is, he has proved time and time again that one man cannot win the Super Bowl, besides in 2010. So, I'm predicting the Rams to go to the Super Bowl against the Jaguars. And then we'd have the Super Bowl. The number 2 seed Jaguars versus the number 1 seed Rams. Who do you think would win? Get into a major flame war down below in the comment section. But I personally think that the Rams would win because they have the best offense in the league last year. And with those 2 signings, they have probably the best defense in the league. And those are my predictions for the 2018 NFL season. If you hate this video, like the video, and remember to follow my Twitter because my Twitter is I Like Gus and I have some hilarious tweets. Bye-bye, guys.